feel like, did you see that clip of Harrison Ford? He walked out some award show and they were playing the Indiana Jones theme song. He's like, that song follows me everywhere. It was playing when I went in for my colonoscopy. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about that song.
So, good morning. Anybody else have any thoughts about colonoscopies?
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna...
That's how we're starting today. You can either like it or love
it. Thank you, may I have more? Hi guys. So I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, no,
let's not. I feel a little bit like I ate and drank too much and rode on a scooter last night, and so it might take me a little bit to wake up, but I'm here.
We did do that.
And grateful.
What better way to see a city, huh? I don't recommend it. And I also don't recommend trying to take a selfie video while riding said scooter and then making a sharp turn. Because if you ever try to ride those things, don't ride those things, period. But
you have to post that.
If you happen to find yourself on one because you've lost a bet, which that's the only reason you should be on one, keep both hands on it. I bailed.
Yeah. What's the way? Y'all are here like the perfect way to take a selfie. Get your phone, get it eye level, put it a little bit lower,
When she went out on location to shoot, because she needed to look good, she needed her, to waxed and buffed and
She got Frank. That's it. There is we have in all productions have what's called a picture car wrangler.
Yeah.
And they are responsible for any picture cars. If there's more than one car, there's a few cars, and usually they'll have maybe a few people helping out, moving the cars around, putting them in a position. But yeah, it's just Frank was the guy who took care of Baby the most throughout the series. And he'd load it onto the trailer. He'd drive the trailer to
Have we ever told the story
set.
about when
When Baby decided to take him for a ride.
Have y'all heard the story ever?
So Frank was putting Baby back onto the truck, which was just around the side of the studio, and Baby didn't want to go into the trailer. She was like, "Not today, Frank.
Yeah.
That ravine looks fun. Let's go there."
So he was driving literally from the studio to a trailer, to a car hauler trailer, and the accelerator stuck.
And so when an accelerator sticks on a 502 big block Chevy, you go fast.
He jumps a curb and drives through a field, trying to slam on the brakes, trying to hit the pedal, but something happened in the carburetor, where it was just like flooding with fuel. Ends up in a ditch, and his collarbone breaks.
And the good news is like the shoulder strap worked and the airbags deployed. Oh no, wait. No, there's none of that.
So we get a phone call about like, hey, the Impala just crashed. Like Frank just crashed the Impala. We're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, there was an accident. We don't know what happened yet. And so
you and I ran over there.
Yeah, we went over, Cliffy and me and Ackles. And then I get there and he's already there with the ambulance. And he's sitting there and he's like, and you can see his collarbone.
It's literally
like here and then up. And so I go, and when I see him, I'm like, Frank, you all right, man? He's like, yeah, just, and the paramedic is kind of like tending to him. And I'm like, you're good. And I talk to the paramedic, and I'm like, okay, nothing long-standing, like, just, like, that sucks. And the paramedic's like, yeah, he's fine, otherwise his vitals, this and that. And I go, okay, well, don't try and fix his face. It was already fucked up. And Frank, sorry for the language, but Frank starts laughing. He's like, and he's like, oh my gosh, that hurt so much to laugh, but that was worth it. So, yeah.
I feel like it was smooth. It was like, oh, Frank, your shoulder looks horrible. Don't worry about his face. It already looked like that. And the paramedic was laughing. Yeah, but so luckily it was the majority of the damage was done to Frank's shoulder.
Yeah.
Baby took it on the chin like a champ. She was back up and running and doing fine like the next week. So
you can't mess that.
Yeah, so that is the baby's entourage. Is generally just one picture car person who in this. And Frank didn't quit. He kept with it.
And to be fair, we all got babies back. You know what I mean? Like Frank is there for baby, but we're all like, ain't no one messing with.
Yeah, everybody kind of keeps a nice little, gives a wide berth when they're dealing with the car. So she kind of commands respect when she gets on set.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, since you thought you were going to ask a question a minute ago. How you doing?
Well, hello, boys.
And his now wife came up to visit, and we were both living inside the place. And I think you hadn't been playing anything. But even way back when, and he kind of gave me a funny look, but I was like, hey, Jensen, this is my brother Jeff. Jeff, this is my, I guess, brother Jensen. And I was like, Jensen, here's a guitar, like, sing and play, like I wanted to see. And Jensen was like, what? Like, nah, man. Like, so for years.
Dance, monkey, dance!
I think he gave me a look like, this is the dance monkey thing? Like, I'd rather just, but I've been saying for many years, this is like me trying to take credit for your talent. I've been saying for a long time that
You've been doing that forever.
albums. So, yeah.
Steve is actively working on tracking that now, and we've talked. It's already written, so we're in the process currently. How soon that happens, I don't know. And then I don't know, favorite.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I honestly don't know. I know that there were ideas of what I thought I might do when I was younger. Obviously, that was a long time ago. All right, take it easy. But I will say, whatever it would be, it would probably have to be something that was continually evolving. I don't think I would do well in a kind of a static job, sitting in an office or doing a similar thing each day. That's one thing that I love about what I do is every day I get to do something completely different. Either a new set or working with a different actor or the lines are always different. So I truly enjoy a creative process with people. And I've often said there's like two kinds of people in this industry. There are artists and there are craftsmen, and I kind of fashion myself more as a craftsman. And so whatever I would be doing if I wasn't doing this, it would be crafting something, I would hope.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you back. And hell, honestly, like, if we weren't actors, we might just go ahead and go hunt some demons and help people.
Be actual hunters, yes. All right. Let's see. How about? Yeah. Put your hand up even higher. Yeah, that one with the red watch.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, she does have a red something. What is that? A watch?
It's a COVID band. It's great. So you all have them.
Yeah, we've all done it.
All right.
You with the mask.
I see what you did there.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Becky.
Hi, Becky.
This is my first convention, and first I just wanted to say that I am very honored, and I don't say this lightly, but I love you guys, and I love everyone else here because I feel very at home and very
Amen.
at peace with that.
Love you back.
Oh my God, this is shaking.
Focus on the red watch.
So my question is, was it easier for you guys to perform an emotional or intense scene together because you've been working together for so long and you know kind of how to like feed off of each other's emotions and kind of play off of each other, or was it harder because you've been working for so long together and you could like mess each other up easily? And could you please give examples?
Depends on the scene. I will say that it was absolutely 100% for me easier to be vulnerable with somebody I trusted and had reason to trust over 15 years. And so, you know, there were scenes, obviously, and oftentimes, I don't know about during the finale, but oftentimes if there was an emotional scene, then we'd cut and we'd both shoot the shit and like laugh and tease and reset. Because if you enter a take or a scene and you're like for me, interesting scenes are where somebody goes from like being, you know, seemingly perfectly happy to then breaking down or being funny. So if you enter a scene where you cry 3 pages into it and you're already like, well, so what happened today? And it's not like, who cares? And so we would do, it's like, this is weird, like a food tasting or a wine tasting, like you have like ginger ale or tonic water or something to reset your palate between tastings. And so for me at least, I feel like for both of us to some degree, like we'd almost like reset each other's palate. Okay, we did this massive scene, but we do take 2. Sam doesn't know his brother's about to say, hey, I'm dying, let me die. Just be here and listen. So if I enter take 2, knowing that my brother's gonna die in my arms, it'd be a mess. And that was really difficult. But then there were some in seasons prior where you're like, all right, like we're kind of teasing each other and this and that. So for me, for sure, it's easier to act with somebody that you know has your back and will tell you like, hey, that was great. Don't forget that this line is a reference to that. And you're like, got it, you know? And so like the best directors, the best actors and actresses you can work with don't tell you how to do something. They just say like, hey, think about this. Like, got it, you know? So then you do it again and it makes sense. So for me.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that because we have worked together for so long, that became an easier note to hit. Plus, he and I know what each other needs and what we respond to, what we require, kind of to get to a place of emotion. So even like off-camera work, I know where he's supposed to be, so I can even level it up a bit to give him something bigger to play off of, and he, you know, vice versa. I will say that you know, he and I learned that not only about each other but about ourselves as well within these characters and within the show that lasted for so long. It gave us ample opportunity to be able to hone that skill essentially, and I remember, I'll never forget. Heart was season 1, right?
Yep. 2. 217. Was Heart?
I thought that was 1. Season 1.
I think it was 217.
217, yes.
Okay.
Just guessing.
Early in the series, there was a show called Heart, where Sam loses somebody he truly cares about. And it was a very emotional day for Jared because he had to play the emotion of Sam losing somebody that he truly cared about. And I remember that Jared was, you know, we were still young actors and still trying to figure out our skill set at that time. And he went into this, he opted for this tactic that some actors do, which is they think about something in their own life that truly makes them emotional. And I'll never forget, he thought about his dog Sadie dying. And then he opted to do this other tactic, which is staying in that for the duration of the filming. So when they yell cut, he goes and sits in a corner and just marinates in emotion. And I just was like, felt so horrible because he was a wreck for, you know, 6 hours, 7 hours, just emotionally, like I'm just watching this guy just being drained of emotion. And I think that was the last time you did that. You were like, I don't think I can do that again, or because it took a big toll on you. I saw it. Like you were emotionally distraught
for sure
for the rest of that day.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a famous line that Sir Laurence Olivier says to Dustin Hoffman in the movie Marathon Man, where Dustin, like, he's got to be
Sleep
out.
all night.
Yeah, he's got to be out of breath, and so he like runs around the block several times, and he comes back, and Sir Lawrence Olivier is like, you know, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to get out of breath. He's like, use acting, dear boy. It's called acting. Try it. And so I think after being in it as long as Jared was that day, I think
Yeah,
like,
you tried.
I think I'll try acting next time.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that the emotion that he would tap into or myself would tap into wasn't real. I mean, you know, those moments you're tricking your body to thinking that something is really emotional, and so your body is reacting the way it would react if something was real. And it's wild that your brain can do that, but it can. It has the capability of doing that. So
Yeah, and you during Supernatural, Jensen and I both were able to kind of like try out different methods, and you're like, hey, maybe this will work. Hey, maybe that will work, and commit to it and do it, and then go like, well, that worked, but I don't think I need that. Like, I think I can kind of like find the Goldilocks principle of like, okay, I don't have to like listen to the saddest songs and stories I've ever heard to get sad. Like I can just kind of think about what Sam would be going through, or I don't need to.
that's another thing too, is we got to know these characters so well, and we cared about them so deeply that we would get emotional just knowing that these characters are going through this. I mean, that, you know, the Dean's death scene was like, that was not acting. Like I genuinely was emotional about Dean saying goodbye to Sam. Like that got me as a fan of the show, like choked up. And I had to choke back the emotion and be like, calm it down, Jensen, you're gonna get too emotional. And Dean wouldn't be there right now. He's gotta, this is a slow burn. And so it was tough. I mean, I get a little emotional about talking about it right now. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks a bunch. Red shirt right here. Yes, sir. When you're a kid and there's a
No, I know that. I'm talking about what just happened with
okay with
Ohioans.
Ohioans.
You just say OH.
It was.
Do it again. OH. Stop it. Do they teach you this in like grade school? What is this? Yes. Is this like an Aussie? That's what this is, isn't it? I didn't know we had that. Well, you have it. I don't, because
TXAS.
Texas. Ding. That's what they teach us. Well, that's cool. Sorry.
So, I'm from Cincinnati, and I've actually worked on a couple. I've worked on a couple of film productions that have gone through LA Productions.
Yep.
Namely, like one James Franco production as crew, and I'm sure that you've had.
We appear like the iceberg above the surface of the water, but there's so much underneath that goes into it. Even from the moment it's written, you know, 2 months, 3 months before we ever see the script, and then all the camera operators and the grips and the gaffs and the sound and the riggers. So we get to kind of go like, hey, look at us, we're ice, but he and I know deeply, having done 400 episodes of television or whatever we've done, that it's
Television, not just Supernatural.
no,
Come on.
Television, like counting all the other shows we've done. But we, I feel like we stand here today not as Jared and Jensen who created Supernatural, but as just a little bit of ice above the water that you can see from a distance, that you can see on television. But we know deeply and intimately just how much it takes to push us above the surface. So like my sound guys right now, you know, Ben and Manny and the gang, they're right next to you. You know, hold the booms and you're joking around. So there are many, and there are many. Dave Riopel, I still text with, who was our dolly grip.
Who I still call LD, which stands for Large Dave.
Yeah.
Because when he worked, and this is no joke, it's not because of something that came to Supernatural, on the X-Files, there was Dave, and then there was a smaller man named Dave. And so Kim Manners just nicknamed him Large Dave, started calling him LD. That nickname is it's now stuck with him.
Stuck for decades.
So yeah, there's a lot of crew that
Yeah.
I still talk to today. You know, it's been
Yeah, Trish and Frida.
going on 2 years now that they still check in. We all, you know, we spent a lot of time together. We've been through,
All the time.
we've spent birthdays together. We've spent anniversaries together. We've spent, we've mourned deaths together. We've celebrated life together. We've been through divorces, marriages, it's just so much with those people. So they are truly family. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I see people.